Alrighty, so I've been sick for quite a while now. It's going on like 2 or 3 weeks at this fucking point. So I took the liberty, uh, for the course of the end of the year, and I've rewatched a few movies and shows that have been recommended to me. And I'll be honest, I'm out of the Marvel loop like completely. All that I know is like She-Hulk unanimously bad. New Marvel is kind of like soy and bad. And Endgame good. That's pretty much all I know. So I started playing Marvel Rivals pretty recently. I think I'm going to be uploading my tier list of the characters just for fun. So I'm going to go through the rankings of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is something I recently rewatched. I pretty much binged through all of them. And yes, before I watched number 3, I did end up watching Infinity War and Endgame. So I've got that as the backbones as well, just to kind of understand what was going on in 3, because I didn't want to be too far behind. But yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, this shit released like 10 years ago, so I figured pretty good time to do a 10th year anniversary tier list of it, I guess. But yeah, now, I will be honest, I had very low expectations going into Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought they were just going to be like mediocre mid. But I had a friend of mine recommend to watch them, so I decided to watch them. And my main in Marvel Rivals is Groot, so good enough reason to watch Guardians of the Galaxy. But yeah, anyways, let's get into the tier list here. Starting with Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1, which is this one. I actually thought this one, so because there's only 3, I'll do first, second, and thirded. Yeah, and then these ones don't matter. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna put Guardians of the Galaxy 1 in 3rd place. Like I said, I don't know much about Marvel shit, I'll be honest. But I did enjoy the movie, and I do think it's a really good movie. I don't think it's like eye-opening and it's this crazy experience that will like, open your third eye. And that I recommend every single person who's into superheroes watch. It is very much like Star Trek mixed with Suicide Squad. And I kind of like that vibe. I think it fit that vibe very well. And the reason why I say Star Trek and not Star Wars is because the only thing that kind of disappointed me, or not the only thing, but the most disappointing part about Guardians of the Galaxy was probably the aliens. Normally when I watch a sci-fi thing, I'm expecting like aliens to look like Alien Romulus, or like aliens from Alien or the Predator, or Star Wars aliens, like Kaminoans, like fucking whatever the fuck, what's his name? Cad Bane is, like people like that, where they are clearly not human, They might have fingers, but that's about it as far as the humanness goes, I like seeing freak shows as the aliens, because I think it really sets in, like, wow, this is another territory, But, like, Gamora, it's kind of just a green lady, Drax is kind of just a dude with tattoos, The most alien-like thing, I think, in the entire series was probably, or in the first film, I should say, was probably Groot, and he's a tree. And then you have a talking raccoon, which is literally just a humanoid thing talking. Not humanoid, sorry, but like it's grounded in Earth. It's literally a raccoon. Yeah. So I didn't have high expectations, and like I was really happy when I started seeing like Gamora's sister, Nebula, and like, God, I can't even really think. And I guess what's his name, Yordu. I was pretty happy with the way Yordu looked, but again, all of them just looked human, None of them really fit like the alien aesthetic, other than unnamed people who just get killed off, Even the main villain, dude, who watched a little bit too much Chemical Romance. I forget his name. I think he's Thanos' son. Yeah, he was kind of cool, but like he didn't really fit the alien vibe. And then a lot of things in this movie is very how do I say this? Very, what's the word? Plot armor-esque. for the main characters, you know? Like, you know Quill's not gonna die, so when he touches the stone, it's like, oh, of course there's some random fucking reason why he's able to use the stone that no other being can, you know? Thankfully, the other movies make this seem a lot more believable, and actually a lot more well-written, because the first one did kind of, for me, it's like a 7 out of 10. It did kind of have those moments where I'm just like, oh, like, this is just happening to move the plot. You know, like, oh, why the fuck is this raccoon and the tree, like, so close with these guys, even though they haven't really been together that long, you know? Like, the power of friendship was pretty heavy in this film. But it was still pretty fun. It was still visually a really good, movie to watch. Had some really good moments. Pretty good comedy overall. Nothing really that negative to say other than, you know, the alien aspect and the, power of friendship being a strong thing in the third movie. And I know, like, a lot of people are like, well, that's just Marvel and blah, blah, blah. I get that, but, you know, I like to see some plot development, you know? I like to see a little bit more thought process go into a lot of the reasonings behind why things happen, you know? And, you know, the fact that Quill, spoiler alert, 10 years old, it is what it is. The fact that Quill is part Celestial and that he's able to hold the stone, you know, that makes a lot of sense after you watch the future films. But when you watch this one, it's like, oh, wow, yeah, that's very, wow, the plot armor is strong with this one, you know? But it's still pretty good. I'm not gonna knock anyone who says, this one's their favorite. Me, personally, I think it's the third best. It is also, I think, the shortest one, if I'm not mistaken, but pretty good. I really liked the intro. I was expecting to go into this and thinking like everything was going to be a comedy, and the very beginning was literally a mother dying of cancer and then the child gets abducted by aliens. I was not expecting that from a Marvel film, so that was a little interesting. But yeah, the stones being part of the Infinity War and Endgame, I get that, so I know why that's like here. And while this is kind of like a filler arc, I guess, of the main Marvel stuff, I thought it was fun. I thought it was cool. Great movie, you know? Probably a decent rewatch. I thought the prison escape was a pretty cool idea. I just thought, I felt like it would have done better if it had a little bit longer for the characters to bond and really sort of be friends. Because at moments, it kind of just felt like, oh, when the fuck did these guys become friends? They were literally just trying to kill each other 5 minutes ago. But yeah, that's pretty much my thought process there. But yeah, pretty good movie. Not a bad movie, you know, I'll put it in third. Moving on, we have the second one, Volume 2, and, yeah, I'm actually gonna put it in second place. I thought it was really good. I love the ego, part. I think that's what Quill's father was named, spoiler alert. I think that's what his name was, Ego, something like that, and then Mantis, being there to, like, make Ego sleep and stuff like that. Because he's so celestial and I guess he's stressed out all the time. I thought the plot twist was pretty big, because I kind of figured from memes, the whole, like, what? And then he just unloads on the old man. I figured from memes that Ego was going to be a bad guy, but I was like, damn, how the fuck are they going to make this plot twist? And the plot twist was that Ego, spoiler alert, put the cancer tumor in Quill's mother's head, and that's why she ended up dying. So yeah, pretty good reasoning for Quill to just go fucking apeshit. So that was a good moment. I really like that moment personally. Just unloading on Ego's fucking brain, I guess. And then Mantis being weird and awkward with Drax, I thought was pretty goofy. Normally that shit is like really, really cringe, but I think they made a lot of the cringe moments work. Gamora basically always fighting with Nebula, and then Nebula and Gamora kind of bonding a little bit, I guess, was kind of fine. Didn't mind that. And then Rocket just being an asshole, and then I think Yordu helping out the team pretty much near the end there. I thought it was really good. I thought the length, like, felt very adequate. Like, I didn't feel like it needed to be longer or shorter. It felt like a perfectly timed movie. I think the only bad parts about it was Rocket taking the batteries early, but a lot of it started to make sense as the movie went on. Like, it made a lot more sense why he would do something so stupid, and it was to try to push everyone away, and that's why, like, Rocket was trying to be sort of in his own world, so I get it. A lot of things felt like they didn't make sense, and then they made sense in the movie, and that's what I really like. That's what I think a movie should be. So it's not really a knock on that. I guess Groot being like very dumb, but I know he was like baby Groot because he sacrificed himself in the first movie, and now he's regrowing. And yeah, I thought baby Groot was like fine for the most part, but there's some moments where it's just like you just know Groot's gonna do the right thing because he's Groot. Like when it came to the buttons, it's like of course Groot's not gonna be dumb enough to press the wrong button. Even though they're trying, it's almost like you know the butt of the joke that someone's trying to tell you, and like you're just sitting there and you're forced to like wait till the joke is done. And that's kind of the only bad moment of the movie. Overall, I give this movie probably like an 8.5, 9 out of 10. You know, there was a lot of moments that were really cool. The fact that they needed to blow up the planet in order to kill this Celestial, thought that idea was sick. The potential that Quill might be immortal, stuff like that, I thought was pretty cool. Thought everything made a lot of sense on my surface level brain. Again, I'm not that too into Marvel, so I don't know all these Marvel Universe things. Yeah, I think it's second place. I thought Yoryu was pretty good. The blue guy, Merle from Walking Dead, is pretty much what I know him from. I thought everything was pretty good about the film, and there was very little bad things about it. It might be a tie at first. I'm gonna be honest. Like, it was really good. But moving on, we have probably my first place, and that's Volume 3. So I would probably rate them in the order they were released. You know, I think the third one was probably the best one, only because I feel like Rocket he's almost a center stage character in all the movies, but he doesn't have a center stage purpose other than he's an asshole. And then in the third one, it's a really good build up to like his backstory. And, you know, I didn't cry during the film, of course, but let's just say the teary-eyed moments started happening. You know, when you find out a lot of lore about Rocket the Raccoon, and the experiments and everything. And then when he sees the otter on his way to the afterlife, or whatever the fuck it was there. But yeah, really good idea, really good plot point. I think overall, the movie was really long. It felt long, but it felt like a good length, you know? Like, I definitely felt that 2.5 hours, but I thought it was adequate, you know? There was a large portion where Rocket just was kind of out of commission, and then, you know, near the end, he sort of started to heat up, and it's like Rocket doing Rocket things. The team got closer. Quill had to deal with Gamora not knowing really who Quill was, and I think this movie actually released last year. This is currently 2024, so that's why I'm saying last year. So yeah, really good movie, honestly. Not really anything bad to say about it. I think the only parts that I didn't like was probably just Adam. I think Adam was really weird. I think Adam should have had a little bit more time to cook, but he kind of just appeared to be... He's like a Celestial version who's... he's like a young Celestial-looking fucking Drax, I guess. And I know he's not a Celestial, he's like some sort of perfect being or whatever the fuck it was. Who wasn't cocooned long enough or something. But I thought he deserved a little bit more screen time in terms of, like, character building. But I thought he was probably the weakest character added in the whole film. Other than that, I liked the main villain fucking losing his mind over trying to get Rocket. I like the idea of him trying to get Rocket to make a perfect planet. I like that he was technically a god to some people. The copycat of Earth is like a furry's wet dream, but, you know, to any normal human being is a nightmare planet where everyone just looks like a fucking demon. But yeah, those are probably the only gripes. But yeah, outside of everything, I thought the film was great. I thought there was great moments where it was like this felt like a maybe a higher budget version of the third and or the first and second. But yeah. But yeah, I do think the third one was probably the best one. You know, I really liked Groot being, I guess, a little bit more matured and not really a teen like he was in Endgame. Yeah, I thought Groot was pretty cool. Yeah, I honestly, you know, I even liked Nebula. I thought Nebula was kind of a weak character in the second movie, right? Yeah, the second movie, I thought Nebula was kind of a weak character. I didn't really care about Nebula at all. And I was like, oh, okay, so this fucking weird bitch is here now. great, you know. But I'm surprised in Guardian of the Galaxy that released last year, Volume 3, Nebula was actually like a likable character. I was like, oh my god, she actually fits with the team, you know? You don't really get that a lot with annoying characters in Marvel anymore, you know? At least from everything I've seen. You know, we definitely have no, you know, we definitely have no Acolyte here. Acolyte. I think that's how you spell it, right? No? Acolyte? Yeah. Or fucking, I don't know. What's worse than Acolyte? Is there anything worse than Acolyte? Let's just put Disney, because I think Disney as a company is just worse than Acolyte. But yeah, you know, definitely no Acolyte tier movies. I think Guardian of the Galaxy 1 was pretty good. I thought 2 was like almost a direct upgrade in terms of how the movie took itself, how characters sort of developed. And I thought all the humor was good. You know, there's never a moment in any of these films where it's like, wow, this is really cringe. And I'm surprised, you know? I'll be honest. I'm not a Marvel dude. And I'm really new to this Marvel shit just because of Marvel Rivals. But I'm happy to say, like, I really enjoyed all these films, you know? And I can see anyone rating one over the other. And me personally, I would probably even swap these out if I rewatch them a few times, maybe. But yeah, at the moment, I think I rate them in release order. And I think all of them are pretty good. But yeah, if this is what Marvel movies are supposed to be like, maybe I'll keep on watching them. Who knows? But yeah, happy I watched them. I recommend people watch the franchise. I guess people haven't really. I guess maybe I'm the only person who maybe hasn't watched the franchise of Guardians of the Galaxy. Maybe I'm alone in there, but yeah, these are all really good. Wanted to get my thoughts and opinions out there just for fun. Content's kind of dry right now. It's the end of the year, getting end of the year shit done. But yeah, with all that being said, I want to thank you for watching. If you're new around here, I do daily uploads, and I mainly do MMA content, but I do any content I'm passionate about. I'll probably start mixing it up soon, depending on how dry the MMA content gets. But yeah, with all that being said, I want to thank you for watching, and as always, I hope you have a good day.